Dear students, let us begin with the second part of the lesson on India-Sri Lanka relations, in which we will discuss about economic relations, development cooperation, cultural relations, tourism, human resource development and fishermen issues. Let us discuss about economic relations. Economic and commercial relations between India and Sri Lanka have experienced substantial growth and diversification, with the India-Sri Lanka Free Trade Agreement playing a pivotal role in fostering the partnership since its implementation in 2000. This agreement has created an environment conducive to trade, making India one of Sri Lanka's most significant trade partners and a substantial source of foreign direct investment. Bilateral trade growth. The India-Sri Lanka Free Trade Agreement has significantly boosted bilateral merchandise trade, creating a favorable environment for the exchange of goods and services. In 2021, bilateral merchandise trade between India and Sri Lanka reached an impressive $5.45 billion, highlighting the vibrancy of their economic ties. Foreign direct investments. India has emerged as a significant source of foreign direct investment in Sri Lanka, contributing over $2.2 billion. Indian investments span various sectors, including petroleum, retail, tourism, manufacturing, real estate, telecommunications and banking, reflecting the diversification of economic engagement between the two countries. Sectorial collaboration. The India-Sri Lanka Economic Partnership encompasses various sectors with collaborative efforts in the tourism, manufacturing and telecommunications industries. Indian companies have made substantial investments in Sri Lanka's tourism sector, contributing to its growth as a popular tourist destination. The robust economic and commercial relations between India and Sri Lanka reflect the mutual benefits of their partnership. India's role as a significant trade partner and a source of investment underscores the deepening economic integration between the two nations. This collaboration fosters economic growth, contributes to regional stability and strengthens the broader bilateral relationship. As both countries continue to explore new avenues for cooperation, their economic ties are expected to flourish further, yielding more significant opportunities for trade and investment in the years to come. Let us discuss about development cooperation. India's development cooperation with Sri Lanka stands as a testament to their strong partnership in fostering economic growth, infrastructure development and the overall well-being of the Sri Lankan people. India has been a significant development partner with substantial grants and commitments to various sectors in Sri Lanka. Grants and commitments. India's commitment to Sri Lanka's development is reflected in grants totaling around $570 million and an overall commitment of over $3.5 billion. These grants have been directed towards various sectors including education, health, livelihood, housing and industrial development. These financial contributions demonstrate India's dedication to supporting Sri Lanka's socio-economic progress and addressing the needs of its citizens. The India Housing Project. One of the flagship grant projects initiated by India in Sri Lanka is the Indian Housing Project, which aims to construct 50,000 houses. Remarkably, India has already completed nearly 49,300 houses under this project, significantly contributing to addressing the housing needs of vulnerable and marginalized communities in Sri Lanka. Diverse development initiatives. India's development cooperation extends to various sectors including education, where scholarships and capacity building programs are offered to Sri Lankan students and professionals. Healthcare projects have also been implemented to improve access to medical services and diagnostics benefiting the Sri Lankan population. Industrial development projects seek to enhance economic opportunities and promote sustainable growth in Sri Lanka. Cultural relations. India and Sri Lanka share a profound cultural and historical connection that spans over 2,500 years. The two nations have signed cultural cooperation agreements that promote exchanges and collaboration in various cultural domains. Buddhism serves as a powerful bond between them, with relics of Buddha exhibited in both countries. To further strengthen their cultural ties, India has pledged a $50 million grant aimed at preserving and promoting Buddhist connections between the two nations. This grant supports various activities, including the construction and renovation of Buddhist monasteries, the education of young monks, cultural exchanges, and more. These initiatives contribute to the deepening cultural exchanges and mutual understanding between India and Sri Lanka, enhancing their enduring relationship. Tourism. Tourism indeed plays a pivotal role in fostering connections between India and Sri Lanka. The two countries have taken significant measures to promote and facilitate travel, making it easier for people to visit each other's nations. These initiatives have not only strengthened tourism ties, but also enhanced overall bilateral relations. Here are some key points highlighting the importance of tourism in connecting India and Sri Lanka. Visa on arrival schemes. India and Sri Lanka have introduced visa on arrival schemes for tourists, simplifying the process of obtaining a visa. This has made it more convenient for travelers from both countries to visit each other, reducing bureaucratic hurdles and promoting tourism. Air travel bubble arrangements. The establishment of air travel bubble arrangements has been crucial in facilitating safe and controlled travel between India and Sri Lanka, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. These arrangements allowed for the resumption of international flights while ensuring health and safety protocols. India is the largest source market. India is the largest source market for tourists visiting Sri Lanka. In 2022, 17.1% of international tourists in Sri Lanka originated from India, underscoring the strong cultural, historical, and geographical ties between the two nations. Human resource development. India offers numerous scholarships and training programs to Sri Lankan students and officials, enhancing human resource development across various disciplines, including technical and professional fields. These initiatives contribute to building capacity and fostering stronger people-to-people ties between the two nations. Fishermen issue. Due to proximity of their territorial waters, India and Sri Lanka have dealt with incidents of straying fishermen. Both countries have established practical arrangements to address this issue, emphasizing humane treatment and the release of arrested fishermen. The long-standing issue of fishermen straying into each other's waters in the Pak Bay, a semi-enclosed shallow water body between India and Sri Lanka, has remained a source of contention between the two nations. This problem dates back centuries, but it escalated after the signing of maritime agreements in 1974 and 1976. Despite subsequent agreement to demarcate the international maritime boundary line in 1976, fishermen from both countries continued to fish in the Pak Bay area. The issue has persisted, leading to conflicts and arrests, especially on the Sri Lankan side. The historical practice of Indian and Sri Lankan fishermen venturing into the Pak Bay area for fishing dates back centuries. The problem became pronounced after the 1976 Maritime Agreement, which aimed to establish boundaries but initially did not affect fishing activities. The fishing communities continued their activities peacefully until the outbreak of the Yelam War in 1983. Later, the Sri Lankan government began raising objection to Indian fishermen's presence in Sri Lankan waters, leading to tensions. Efforts have been made to address this issue with talks and agreements to define fishing boundaries, but practical challenges, historical precedents and socio-economic factors have made it persist. Indian fishermen in particular face challenges as they seek productive fishing grounds, often venturing close to the Sri Lankan coast. To find a lasting solution, it is essential to consider the perspectives and needs of both nations, the historical context and the interest of the fishing communities. A cooperative approach that involves dialogues, enforcement of agreed upon boundaries and support for alternative livelihoods for affected fishermen is vital. I hope you understood what we discussed about economic relations, development cooperation, cultural relations, tourism, human resource development and fishermen issues. We will discuss about the Kachiti Island issue, the way forward, Indian community, China as a factor in Sri Lanka and India relations in the next video. Thank you.